Welcome to our YouTube video. We're here to discuss the proposed compensation agreement for former star stock picker Neil Woodford's fund that collapsed in October 2019. The administrator of the fund, Link Fund Solutions, has agreed to pay up to £235 million to help make up for the losses of over 300,000 customers who had money invested in the fund. This follows an investigation by the Financial Conduct Authority, who found Link had made critical mistakes and errors whilst managing Woodford Equity Investment Fund. The FCA had originally ordered Link to pay up to £306 million, however a takeover offer by Canadian cloud-based software company Dye & Durham in September meant that the full amount could not be returned. A new deal, however, has been struck with Dublin-based asset management service provider Waystone Group. Proceeds from the sale of Link's UK and Irish operations will help fund the £235 million allocated for the Woodford compensation scheme. For the scheme to be approved, Woodford investors and a UK court must give their approval. We can understand why Woodford's once £10 billion equity fund collapsed, with a string of poor investments linked to companies such as Purple Bricks, Burford Capital, and Provident Financial. This poor decision-making, combined with Woodford's decision to put money into private companies that were hard to sell, led to the ultimate collapse of the fund in 2019. The administrator has since wound down the fund and returned money to many investors, at a steep loss. The FCA's Director of Enforcement and Market Oversight, Therese Chambers, had this to say on the matter. The FCA's investigation raised serious concerns about Link Fund Solutions' management of the liquidity of the Woodford Equity Income Fund. LFS's actions appear to have caused significant losses for those investors who remained in the fund when it was suspended. We believe the proposed scheme offers investors the best chance to obtain a better outcome than might be achieved by any other means, and it is in the investors' interests they be given the chance to consider it. This deal, if approved, will mean that investors will get back around 77p to the pound. Here, we outline what the proposed compensation package is, how the deal works, and what this all means for those investors who lost their savings due to the Woodford Equity Investment Fund collapsing. The Woodford Equity Investment Fund was launched in the summer of 2014, starting off with a value of £100 million. Over time, the fund grew exponentially to become one of the most in-demand funds in the country, reaching a peak value of £10 billion. Many investors saw the promise in this fund, investing large sums of money in the hopes of a high return. Unfortunately, this was not to be, as a succession of poor investments by Neil Woodford caused the fund to collapse in 2019. This left many investors out of pocket, and over £300 million in customers' funds was lost. After the Financial Conduct Authority investigating Link Fund Solutions, the administrators of the fund, the FCA ruled that Link had made critical mistakes and errors in managing the fund, and the Fund Solutions could be liable to pay up to £306 million in compensation. However, the collapse of a takeover offer by Canadian cloud-based software company, Dye & Durham, in September destroyed the chance to claw back the full amount. In response to this, a new deal has been struck with Dublin-based asset management service provider Waystone Group, with the proceeds from Link's UK and Irish operations sales set to fund the £235 million allocated for the Woodford compensation scheme. While this new deal potentially retrieves 77p to the pound of what investors lost, it still needs the approval of Woodford investors as well as a UK court for the scheme to go ahead. This will be a tough decision for those investors who lost large sums of money as part of the Woodford collapse. However, if approved, this deal will offer hope of a better return on what was lost. We hope that this overview has clarified the details of the proposed compensation package for investors who were affected by the collapse of the Woodford Equity Investment Fund in 2019. We understand that many investors were left out of pocket, and this proposed compensation package is the best chance to obtain a better outcome. We hope the Woodford investors and British court take this proposed package into serious consideration in the interest of these investors. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and please stay up to date with our channel for future content.